blood, come the prince that was promised, and his will be the song of ice and fire.
Welcome back, Watchers Beyond the Wall. My name is Monica, and if you don't know who I am, I post videos pertaining to a Song of Ice and Fire content, and a little bit of whatever is on my mind. Here, we deep dive and overanalyze re-watching shows and movies over and over again to understand what the writer is trying to tell us. Without further ado, brace yourselves for rewatch. In the morally intricate world of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, the complex of grey characters reigns supreme, challenging readers to question traditional notions of good and evil.
Thora smiled wanly. I remember, Justice, it had a pleasant taste. Justice was what we were about when Beric led us. Or so we told ourselves. We were king's men, knights and heroes. But some nights are dark and full of terror, my lady. War makes monsters of us all. Are you saying you are monsters? I am saying we are human.
Among these sprawling attributes, figures like Sansa Stark, Daemon Targaryen, Stannis Baratheon, and Melisandre stand out as pillars of moral ambiguity. These characters are neither wholly virtuous nor entirely villainous. Instead, they embody a murky space between light and shadow, where emotions and choices are fraught with consequences.
What is to be done with this traitor, Your Grace?
My mother wishes me to let Lord Eddard join the Night's Watch. Stripped of all titles and powers, he would serve the realm in permanent exile. And my lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father. But they've the soft hearts of women. So long as I am your king, treason shall never go unpunished. Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Sansa Stark, once a naive girl yearning for a fairy tale-like life, transformed into a figure of quiet strength and survival, navigating the pluralistic society of Westeros and the idea of its harsh pragmatism. Meanwhile, Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince, defines categories either hero or villain, dividing by fierce loyalty to his family and unburdened leadership that often causes chaos and bloodshed.
And now the debt comes due. A debt you are happy enough to pay.
A sacrifice. A sacrifice made for the stability of the realm. No king has ever lived that hasn't had to forfeit the lives of a few to protect the many, though I understand your squeamishness.
Reluctance to murder is not a weakness.
Then we have Stannis Baratheon, the stern and unyielding would-be king, whose rigid sense of justice is both a great strength and his ultimate downfall. His willingness to sacrifice those dearest to him for the promise of victory forces readers and watchers alike to confront the cost of unrelenting duty.
Black and white and grey, all the shades of truth. I am Lord Eddard Stark, the King's Hand. Tell me who you are and what you know of these raiders.
Finally, Melisandre of Ashai, an enigmatic red priestess, wields faith and fire with equal reverence. Her actions undercurrent between salvation and destruction as she seeks out to fulfill her divine mission. These characters compel us, not because they conform to an archetype, but because they defy them.
The king moved so his shadow fell upon King's Landing. If Joffrey should die, what is the life of one bastard boy against a kingdom? Everything, said Davos softly. Stannis looked at him, jaw clenched. Go, the king said at last, before you talk yourself back into the dungeon.
Their moral complexities mirror the imperfections of humanity itself, drawing readers into their struggles and flaws, forcing them to grapple with the difficult questions between power, loyalty, sacrifice, and survival.
Duty is sacrifice. It eclipses all things, even blood. All men of honour must pay its price.
In the grayness of their actions and motivations lie an individuality, making them some of the most captivating figures in the world of Westeros and beyond. Stannis Baratheon. In the morally intricate world of A Song of Ice and Fire, few characters embody the complexity of an entirely great character as vividly as Stannis Baratheon. Neither a pure good or evil villain, Stannis often represents the moral ambiguity within the space between.
My son reigns as king in the north, by the will of our lords and people. He bends the knee to no man, but holds out the hand of friendship to all. Kings have no friends, Stannis said bluntly, only subjects and enemies.
Though often driven by a rigid sense of duty, raises the question about the nature of justice and the cost of ambition. From his unyielding adherence to laws and rules, to his stark willingness to make morally questionable decisions, Stannis stands out as a figure defined by his actions and what he has to do for the greater good. His purpose and pursuit of the Iron Throne, though it has caused chaos and destruction, is not the cause or a quest of personal glory, but a mission that he believes is necessary for the survival of Westeros. Yet, this very belief compels him to take actions that blur the lines between right and wrong, forcing readers and watchers to condemn the uncomfortable reality of how much one is willing to sacrifice for what they believe to be the greater good of survival.
Not easy to see something that's never been before. Good world.
How do you know? How do you know it'll be good?
Because I know what is good. And so do you.
I don't.
You do. You do. You've always known.
What about everyone else? All the other people who think they know what's good?
They don't get to choose.
Stannis' adherence to justice is both his greatest strength and his most significant flaw. He sees himself as the only true ruler of Westeros, grounded in this rigid sense of law and duty that fills him to his purpose of the Iron Throne. While this sense of responsibility is noble and honorable, it's also unforgiving. Stannis, his commitment to what he believes is right is unwavering, but it often alienates those who have a different opinion, by his allies leaving him isolated in his quest of power.
Robert was a true steel. Stannis is pure iron, black and hard and strong, yes, but brittle the way iron gets. He'll break before he bends.
In the way Stannis represents the dangers of a moral absolutism is where the pursuit of justice can come at an extreme cost of empathy and understandings. Yet, what truly complicates Stannis' character is in the moments of conflict between his sense of duty and the expectation he must make to achieve his own goal. His alliance with Melisandre and her use of dark arts, including the shadow assassination that is used in his brother's death, is a clear example of this moral grayness.
How many girls? How many men? How many women? The darkness will devour them all, she says, the night that never ends. Unless I triumph. I never asked for this. No more than I asked to be king.
Although within the show and the book, Stannis truly doesn't embody the true mystical beliefs of R'hllor, he still uses Melisandre's powers as a tool to reach his course, such as sacrificing his daughter Shireen to fulfill a prophecy, also blurs the lines of moral comprehension and is steadfast to complete one's goal. While Stannis justifies these actions by countering it with the greater good, personal cost of his choices are the betrayal of his own humanity, raising the question of whether a victory can be worth such a steep moral price. A rigid sense of justice. Centered to Stannis' character is his unwavering commitment to justice and duty. As the middle child of the Baratheon brothers, he often finds himself overshadowed by Robert's charisma and Renly's charm.
Stannis pointed his shining sword at his brother. I'm not without mercy, thundered he who was notoriously without mercy. Nor do I wish to sully Lightbringer with a brother's blood. For the sake of the mother who bore us both, I will give you this night to rethink your folly, Renly.
Yet he adheres firmly to what he believes is right, even when it earns him few allies. For example, Stannis' role in holding Storm's End during Robert's rebellion demonstrates his steadfast loyalty and determination. Despite being abandoned and left to starve, he endures to fulfill his duty.
I have to believe that in the end, honour and decency will prevail. We need to hew to that, and to each other.
As a testament of his resolve and adherence to his responsibility. However, this striking sense of justice often alienates others. Stannis is uncompromising in his beliefs.
But these lords, who flocked to my brother's banners, knew him for a usurper. They turned their backs on their rightful king for no better reason than dreams of power and glory, and I've marked them for what they are. Pardoned them, yes, forgiven, but not forgotten.
Which makes him appear cold and unyielding. His decision to execute Sir Davos Seaworth's fingers as a punishment for smuggling, despite Sir Davos saving Storm's End, and his reflection reflects this duality. While these actions underscore Stannis' testament to law and order,
We all must choose. Man or woman, young or old, lord or peasant, our choices are the same. We choose light, or we choose darkness. We choose good, or we choose evil. We choose the true God, or the false.
it also reveals a lack of personal warmth or understanding, complicating his morality. His actions are not evil, but they are harsh, illustrating his position as a great character, ambition, and pragmatism. Stannis' pursuit of the Iron Throne is another aspect of his moral ambiguity. While his claim to the Iron Throne is legitimate under the laws of succession, his desire for power is not purely selfless.
The Iron Throne is mine, by right. All those that deny that are my foe.
To this day lay claim to the Iron Throne of Westeros.
They're all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
Stannis sees himself as the only ruler capable of restoring order to Westeros, and yet his methods often involve morally questionable choices.
I kept my oath. How could that be treason? Stannis ground his teeth again. I never asked for this crown. Gold is cold and heavy on the head, but so long as I am the king, I have a duty. If I must sacrifice one child to the flames to save 1,000,000 from the dark, sacrifice is never easy, Davos.
His alliance with Melisandre and the faith of R'hllor is a prime example of this pragmatism. Though he does not share Melisandre's zenith, he understands her ability to gain an advantage, as seen in his willingness to burn his enemies alive or to use shadow magic to assassinate Renly. The sacrifice of his daughter Shireen in A Dance of Dragons is a pillar of this opulence, as well, as Stannis believes there is no other way to go through and win Winterfell besides a sacrifice.
Lord of Light, show us the way! Mother, please! Mother, please! Mother! Mother!
There's no other way. His king's blood.
Lord of Light, protect us! Please! Mother! The night is dark and full of terrors!
Driven by desperation and his belief in Melisandre's prophecies, Stannis permeates on these actions that is both horrifying and heartbreaking. This decision alienates even his most loyal supporters, such as Davos Seaworth, and calls into question whether his pursuit of justice has entirely been self-driven.
Yes, I should have come sooner. If not for my hand, I might not have come at all. Lord Seaworth is a man of humble birth, but he reminded me of my duty, when all I could think of was my rights. I had the cart before the horse, Davos said. I was trying to win the throne to save the kingdom, when I should have been trying to save the kingdom to win the throne.
Yet his visible anguish and justification that he is sacrificing one to save the many highlights his internal conflict, adding the deep layer of his gray morality. Relationships and humanity. Despite his stern exterior, Stannis' relationship glimmers of his humanity peeks through.
Robert was never the same after he put on that crown. Some men are like swords, made for fighting. Hang them up, and they go to rust.
Such as the bond between Stannis and Sir Davos Seaworth. While Stannis does punish Davos for his crimes, he elevates him to the position of Hand of the King, valuing his loyalty and counsel. This contradictory dynamic showcases Stannis' ability to recognize merit and his reliance on those who challenge him, a rare quality in the world of Westeros. Stannis' relationship with his daughter, Shireen, also underscores his complexity.
I should have given you a son.
Not your fault.
Whose then? I gave you nothing but weakness. And deformity.
Those scars mean nothing to the Lord of Light.
My lady?
Her father's the Lord's chosen king, and her father's blood runs through her veins.
While his decision to sacrifice her marks as a nodder in his moral journey, earlier interactions show genuine affection and protectiveness.
Oftentimes I wonder why my brothers wanted it so desperately. Why would you want it then? Davos asked him. It is not a question of wanting. The throne is mine as Robert's heir. That is law. After me it must pass to my daughter, unless Selyse should finally give me a son.
His efforts to ensure Shireen's safety from the grayscale and his attempts to educate her show that Stannis isn't devoid of loving and care and tenderness, even though the qualities are overshadowed by greater ambitions. In conclusion, ultimately, Stannis' journey is one of tragic self-delusion and moral decay, even as he remains a man of principle.
All my life, I wanted to be Jon Stark. Say the word and you will be. But I have to refuse you. I'm Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. My place is here. You're as stubborn as your father, and as honourable. I can imagine no higher praise. I didn't mean it as praise. Honour got your father killed.
His relationship with those around him, such as the deeply but flawed connection with Sir Davos, or the emotional bond ties he has with his daughter Shireen, are sheer glimmers of his humanity buried beneath his cold exterior.
Never to probe too deeply into such matters. Men came to the war from all of the Seven Kingdoms, and old loves and loyalties were not easily forgotten, no matter how many oaths a man swore, as Jon himself had good reason to know.
But it is this humanity that is buried and is sacrificed in the name of duty and ambition. Stannis' tragic downfall is a sobering reminder of the perils of ambition unchecked by someone's ambition and glory, and his legacy, marked by those unwavering sense of duty, is intertwined with the consequences of his actions.
What have I done but what was expected of me? Forever upholding the kingdom, the family, the law. Will you flout it all to duty, please?
Innocent! Let her go!
Where is duty? Where is sacrifice? It's trampled under your pointy foot again.
Release the blade, Alison.
Cements him as one of the most fascinating and morally complex characters in A Song of Ice and Fire. His story challenges readers to confront the morally gray areas of morality and ask whether or not you can uphold someone's principles without losing sight of one's humanity. Stannis Baratheon epitomizes the complexities of a morally gray character in A Song of Ice and Fire. His strict adherence to justice, tempered by the ambitions and willingness to make questionable moral decisions, place him in a complex moral spectrum.
And what metal is Robb? Jon did not ask. Nor was a Baratheon man. Likely he thought Joffrey the lawful king, and Robb a traitor. Among the Brotherhood of the Night's Watch, there was an unspoken pact never to probe too deeply into such matters.
Stannis, neither a hero or a villain, but a man shaped by his self-conviction, beliefs, and the harsh reality of Westeros through his struggles to confront what is right and wrong. Stannis challenges readers to consider the nature of justice, power, and the cost of glory and ambition. Sansa Stark. In a world as treacherous as Westeros, where the lines of heroism and villainy is often blurred, Sansa Stark emerges as one of the most complex and morally ambiguous characters.
Fight every battle, everywhere, always. In your mind. Everyone is your enemy. Everyone is your friend. Every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way, and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before.
Initially introduced as an idealistic young girl, dreaming of songs, knights, and romance, Sansa's story became one of disillusionment, survival, and transformation. Her journey from the sheltered daughter of Winterfell to the politically ambiguous Lady of Winterfell is marked by moments of valor, cunning, and quiet defiance. While she begins her tale as a victim of scrutiny and moment of opportunity, Sansa evolves into a survivor and a key player within the Game of Thrones, highlighting the shades of gray that define her character arc.
That people often claim to hunger for truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up. I am strong enough to hear anything you care to say. As you will then. But first, if you be so kind, the wine.
Sansa Stark's early life is shaped in innocence, shaped by the ideals of courtly love and gestures. She dreams of a perfect life alongside her betrothed, Joffrey Baratheon, blissfully unaware of the cruelty and decaying attributes within the undercut-throat life of politics and the glimmering facade of King's Landing. Her naivety leads her to make choices that have far-reaching consequences, such as revealing her father's plans to Queen Cersei, eventually leading to Ned Stark's downfall. These actions, while not malicious in nature, set the stage for Sansa's eventual loss of innocence and the beginning of her morally complex journey.
Well, I knew he would rise high, Catelyn said. He was always clever, even as a boy. But it's one thing to be clever and another to be wise. I wonder what the years have done to him.
Even in her most naive moments, Sansa's ability to survive in an unforgiving world suggests an internal strength that will become her identifying aspect within her later story arc. As Sansa becomes ensnared within the brutal politics of King's Landing, her story shifts from one of naive dreams to the harsh reality, enduring physical and emotional abuse by the hands of Joffrey, emotional manipulation by Cersei, and a crude and constant scrutiny from the court. Sansa learns to wear a mask of compliance. Beneath her outward docility, however, lies a growing awareness of the continuity of power structure at play. This period of her life forces Sansa to navigate morally ambiguous waters, where survival often requires deception and compliancy.
I apologize for my nephew's behavior. Tell me the truth. Do you want an end to this engagement?
I am loyal to King Joffrey, my one true love.
Lady Stark. You may survive us yet.
The Sansa who quietly observed the Lannisters' machinations is no longer the innocent girl of Westeros, but a young woman beginning to understand the cost of power and the necessity of playing the long game. Innocence lost, the idealistic dreamer. Sansa's early life in Winterfell is characterized by her romanticization of the world's view. Influenced by songs and stories of noble knights and courtly love, she idealizes figures like Joffrey Baratheon, believing him to be the epitome of gallantry and virtue. This idealism, however, blinds her to the harsh reality of the world that she inhabits.
Winter will never come for the likes of us. Should we die in battle, they will surely sing of us, and it's always summer in the songs. In the songs all knights are gallant, all maids are beautiful, and the sun is always shining. Winter comes for all of us, Catelyn thought. For me, it came when Ned died.
Her betrayal of her father Ned Stark by revealing his plans to Cersei Lannister, while rooted in young naivety, has direct and lasting consequences. Though her actions are not malicious, they mark the first instance of Sansa being unwillingly complacent in the darker machinations of others. As Sansa transforms from the sheltered environment of Winterfell to the cutthroat court life of King's Landing, her innocence is systematically stripped away from her under the watchful eyes of Cersei Lannister and Joffrey. Sansa endures humiliation, manipulation, and violence. Despite this, she begins to learn the art of survival, adapting a mask of complacency, understanding the power dynamics around her. This period of her life serves as the crucible in which Sansa's grey morality begins to take shape.
Stonemason who could read. Quite a man. What killed him?
Loyalty.
You're a sharp little thing, aren't you?
As she learns to navigate a world where trust and honesty are noble liabilities, a survivor that is cunning. Sansa's transformation into a more calculating and pragmatic individual becomes evident during her time in the Eyrie, under the tutorship of Peter Baelish, also known as Littlefinger.
Bruce Bolton murdered my brother. He betrayed my family.
He did.
He serves the Lannisters.
For now.
I won't go.
Winterfell is your home.
Not anymore.
Always. You're a Stark. Tying your hair doesn't change that. You're Sansa Stark, eldest surviving child of Ned and Catelyn Stark. Your place is in the north.
While initially appearing to be a spectator, she was watching from the shadows of Littlefinger's schemes. For example, Sansa plays a key role in concealing her Aunt Lysa's murder, spinning a narrative that extinguishes Littlefinger. This act demonstrates her willingness to comply with moral absolence in favor of self-preservation, a marked departure from the idealistic girl she once was.
I am Sansa Stark, Lord Eddard's daughter and Lady Catelyn's, the blood of Winterfell. She did not say it, though. If not for Peter Baelish, it would have been Sansa who went spinning through a cold blue sky to stony death 600 feet below instead of Lysa Arryn.
However, Sansa's growing cunning does not automatically make her a villain. Her decisions are often shaped by her situations and the fact that she needs to do this in a world pinned against her and was often sought out to exploit her or harm her. She is doing this for the great of good. While she is still learning to play the Game of Thrones, she still remains a core sense of empathy and loyalty to her family. This duality, her capability for both deception and genuine care, solidifies her position as a morally ambiguous character. Strength and ambiguity. Within the show, by the time Sansa becomes the Lady of Winterfell, she has fully embraced her role as a significant political player.
On your knees thanking me. We're standing in Winterfell again because of me. You didn't win it back. Jon didn't win it back. He lost the Battle of the Bastards. The Knights of the Vale won the battle, and they rode north for me, while you were off, traveling the world.
Leveraging her experience and her newfound pragmatism to protect her home and people. Her relationships with Jon Snow also highlight this transformation as she challenges his decisions and asserts her own vision for the future of the North. Sansa's skepticism of Daenerys Targaryen further underscores her grey morality.
Lord Glover wishes us good fortune. You didn't tell me you were going to abandon your crown.
I never wanted a crown. All I wanted was to protect the North. I brought 2 armies home with me, 2 dragons. You want to worry about who holds what title? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Without her, we don't stand a chance.
While her distrust can also imply her self-serving attributes, as she wants the North to be an independent kingdom and is often weary of unchecked power. In conclusion, What makes Sansa's story so particularly intriguing is the fact that she had the ability to adapt her own situation and rise in a political mindset. Unlike overshadowing and other ruthless characters such as Cersei Lannister or Peter Baelish, Sansa does not seek out power for her own sake, but rather to protect her and those she loved.
All you needed to do was climb the steps yourself. Such a sad mistake.
I've made many mistakes in my life, but that wasn't one of them.
Oh, but it was. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die. There is no middle ground.
Yet, her choices are not always purely pragmatic as she begins to wield her knowledge and influence. Now, within the show, we truly see this come to fruition, but it is unsure how it will play out within the books. Now, we see a little bit of this in A Feast of Crows and A Dance of Dragons.
The only way to keep your people loyal is to make certain they fear you more than they do the enemy. I will remember, Your Grace, said Sansa, though she had always heard that love was a surer route to the people's loyalty than fear. If I am ever a queen, I will make them love me.
But it is hard to pinpoint what exactly will happen next to Sansa's character. I do hope that she takes more of a role like Peter Baelish, moving the streaks from the sidelines and becoming a main player. I think that Sansa deserves this little bit of revenge comparatively to what happened to her family. Whether empathy coexisting with a willingness to make difficult decisions establishes Sansa Stark as a truly grey character, a survivor in a world meant to destroy her. It is not truly just black and white when it comes to Sansa Stark, but a means of survival.
How they sewed his Giles head onto his body. And my mother. They say they cut her throat to the bone and threw her body in the river.
What happened to your family was a terrible crime. I didn't know your brother. He seemed like a good man, but I didn't know him. Your mother, on the other hand, I admired her. She wanted to have me executed, but I admired her.
The only time a man can be brave is when he is afraid.
Daemon Targaryen. In the vast tapestry of House Targaryen's history, few figures are as compelling and divisive as Daemon Targaryen, the Rogue Prince. A man of conjecture, Daemon embodies the extreme of his lineage, fearless yet impulsive, charismatic yet ruthless. As a dragon rider, warrior, and key player in the bloody Dance of the Dragons, Daemon's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy.
When Sir Eric brought you the crown, did I myself not place it upon your brow?
Yes, but before that, you sought to lead a council of war while I laboured alone in my bedchamber. And afterward, when I thought it meet to consider the terms
Folly,
of
a folly!
the forest.
To give up my brother's throne to the traitorous lies of
My throne! Daemon! Mine! I think you used my words as an excuse to take your own revenge.
He is not easily categorized as hero or villain. Instead, he is the combination of the two, mirroring the spectrum of the traditional grey character. The turbulent nature of the Targaryen dynasty often weighs heavily in Daemon's life, shaping his individual desires and his moments of genuine loyalty. It is a testament to the greyness of human nature and the individuality between virtue and vice.
Daemon was mercurial and quick to take offence, but he was dashing, daring, and dangerous. He was knighted at 6 and 10, like Maegor the First, and Jaehaerys the First himself gave Daemon the Valyrian steel blade, Dark Sister, for his prowess.
Instead, he occupies the morally gray space where charismatic loyalty and bravery can coexist within cruelty, ambition, and self-serving ends within his own actions. Daemon's character is a rich tapestry of contradictions, and his actions, relationships, and legacy highlights this duality that defines him as one of the most compelling gray characters in the history of of House Targaryen. And I will also note that George R. R. Martin's favorite character is Daemon Targaryen, the Rogue Prince. Another great character Martin also compares to is Tyrion Lannister, as he is not good or evil, but rather a person trying to navigate a political society rigged against himself.
No man is as cursed as the kinslayer, he mused, but I could learn to light this hell. This is so, Illyria agreed, but the world is one great web, and a man dare not touch a single strand, lest all the others tremble. More wine?
At the heart of Daemon's character lies his unprofound charisma and appeasement, whether leading in troops to the Stepstones or commanding respect as a dragon rider bonded to the fearsome Caraxes. Daemon exudes an aura of power and confidence that extinguishes him from his counterparts. His daring exploits, such as his victory over the Triarchy, earned him admiration of the soldiers and common folk alike, solidifying his reputation as a fearless leader. Yet, this same charisma often veiled his darker impulses, including exploits of cruelty and recklessness. While Daemon embodies and inspires awe, it also represents and raises a question about his concealed, to which his own actions are motivated by his own end rather than noble intentions. Daemon's relationship further compels his moral standing, showcasing his capability for deep-rooted loyalty and manipulation beyond the confines of his sole intention. His bond with his brother, King Viserys I, is often found with tense means.
I know we've had our differences, but let them pass with the years. There's a place for you in my court. There's something you should need. I need nothing. Brother.
As Viserys doesn't show him the recognition he wants, which leads him to lash out. Though he defends his family against any external threat, Daemon's own desire for self-recognition and power often drives a wedge between him and those closest to him. In his marriages, particularly in his first wife, Rhea Royce, he wanted to uphold the Valyrian customs of marrying Velaryon or Targaryen. So he subsequently either killed her or, rumor has it, paid somebody to do so. Either way, he got rid of Rhea Royce to serve his own intentions. His second marriage was to Lady Laena Velaryon, and later he married his niece, Rhaena Targaryen, highlighting the duality of his character. On one hand, they symbolize his greater influence to his family and the Targaryen cause, yet they also strategically move and design to booster his own self-influence. Together, these advantages make Daemon the greyest of our characters.
We are more than this, Daemon. We are not minstrels or mummers who play at the pleasure of an alien prince. We are the blood of old Valyria. We don't belong here.
Valyria is gone, we don't belong anywhere.
Though the prince is cunning and an opportunist, a man who wields love and loyalty to his end, his pursuit of power will eventually be his downfall. A prince of charisma and contradictions. Daemon Targaryen is everything his eldest brother Viserys is not. His magnetic charisma and adventurous spirit are undeniable. As a dragon rider bonded to Caraxes, he is a figure of awe and terror, wielding power that few can match. His achievements, such as his military championship over the War of the Stepstones and combat leader and warrior. Daemon's victory against the Triarchy earned him widespread recognition and the title of the King Beyond the Narrow Sea. The title of the King of the Narrow Sea.
Daemon was determined to carve out his own kingdom. In this he and Corlys Velaryon could make common cause, thanks to the predations of the Kingdom of the Three Daughters, or the Triarchy, as it was sometimes called, which was the union between Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh,
Yet, this admiration is a double-edged sword, often leading to impulsive actions, reckless behavior, and the reckless pursuit that destabilizes the realm. While Daemon's valor and determination are honorable, his darker attributes reveal a man who is also as much a rogue as a prince. His violent temper and subsequent cruelty are evident in his treatment of his enemies and rivals. For example, Daemon's public mocking of the late nephew Balon's death as the heir for the day underscores his impropriety and lack of consideration during moments of grief. Such actions alienate him from those who might be otherwise supporting him and closest to him.
Then why do you cut me so deep? I've only ever spoken the truth. I see Otto Hightower for what he is. An unwavering and loyal hand. A cunt!
Creating a reputation that opulates between admiration and disdain, loyalty and ruthlessness in equal measure. Daemon's relationships further illustrate his complexity. His loyalty to his family and House Targaryen is often genuine, yet it intertwines with personal ambitions. For instance, his close bond with his brother, King Viserys I, is charismatic but both affectionate and rivalry. Daemon does not seek the crown, at least within Fire and Blood, but he does seek recognition and glory within his triumph and tribulations, fighting wars on his brother's behalf. In Season 1, I truly believe they characterized this in the best way they knew how. They destroyed Daemon's character in so many different ways, but his relationship with Viserys, at least in Season 1 of House of the Dragon, is portrayed to the best of its ability. In the episode in Driftmark, when Viserys is asking Daemon to come back to court, Daemon sees this gesture for what it is. As Viserys had appointed Otto Hightower to the Hand of the King position just recently, this gesture is seen as an ill favor, as it's more out of pity for losing his wife. While Daemon supports Viserys against external threat, his ambition often clashes with his loyalty as he sees his perilous desire for power and recognition. His marriage to Lady Laena Velaryon and later to Rhaenyra Targaryen underscores his ambition and nature to have recognition where he wants it. His long-standing goal is to fortify the sanctity of House Targaryen, but
You are the true queen, Rhaenyra. First of her name. Protector of the realm. I am meant to serve you, and all of these with me, until death, or the end of our story.
Είναι άρλη κρυντρουχάς, σε παρμουρούλιας.
Νουκικός τον ταούρ. Silultan. My queen.
he will achieve this goal with any means necessary. However, Daemon's ruthlessness is often overshadowed by his loyalty. His role in the Dance of the Dragons, particularly the brutal acts against the Greens, are revealed a man willing to do whatever it takes to protect the sanctity of his family and to achieve his own goal, which is the stability of the Targaryens, along with the surviving of his children and wife, the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, Rhaenyra Targaryen. The execution of Lord Gwyn Hightower and his manipulation of power during times of crisis demonstrates his capability for cruelty and political maneuvering. These actions, though often contributed, raises the question if Daemon's loyalty to Rhaenyra and her followers is deliberately self-motivated and self-serving within his own ambitions or for the greater good. Ultimately, Daemon Targaryen's story is one of profound significance, where heroism and villainy can coexist as equals rather than being fought out as one. He is a man willing to burn bridges and embody an unlike in the name of ambition, yet his genuine moments of courage and loyalty cannot be ignored. Daemon's actions during the Dance of the Dragon, from his ruthless tirade crusade against the Green to his climactic duel with Prince Aemon, encapsulate his dual nature as a fearless warrior who fights for his family's legacy, even if his methods leave a trail of destruction. In exploring Daemon Targaryen, one is forced to grapple with the grayness of morality, where greatness is inseparable from the shadows it casts. Lady Melisandre from Ashai. Known as the Red Priestess, she is a devout follower of R'hllor, the Lord of Light, whose actions are as captivating as they are divisive. From her commanding presence to her mysterious powers, she is very convicted in her prophecies. Melisandre is both a figure of salvation and destruction, hope and dread, actions which range from terribly horrifying, forces readers to grapple with the concept of morality in a world where the lines between good and evil often blur.
Or 'tis no true sacrifice. Tell him, my lady.
Melisandre said, Azor Ahai tempered Lightbringer with the heart's blood of his own beloved wife. If a man with 1,000 cows gives one to God, that is nothing. But a man who offers the only cow he owns.
At first glance, Melisandre might appear as a protagonist given her role in some of the story's most shocking moments, including the burning of innocent people by using dark magic. Her belief in the divine mission also brings her to the salvation of humanity, often leading her to implore despicable means and unforgiving action. Yet, her motivations are more nuanced than you might think. To Melisandre, every sacrifice, no matter how grievous, is a justifiable thing because it is for the greater good.
Do you believe we're here for a reason, Portores? I'm here to free the world from tyrants. That is my destiny, and I will serve it no matter the cost.
Cersei, surrender. Offer her her life in exchange for the throne.
Speaking to Cersei will not prevent a slaughter. But perhaps it's good the people see that Daenerys Stormborn made every effort to avoid bloodshed, and Cersei Lannister refused. I should know him to blame when the sky falls down upon him.
The defeat of the eternal darkness, the threat that would consume the world, this unyielding fate to her god and her belief system that the harbinger of light itself needs these sacrifices is a worthy testament. This goes back to what I was saying with Stannis Baratheon's character, that killing one man could save the few is a testament that Melisandre also believes. Although Melisandre's actions are characterized by her devoutness through her faith, there is still a warmth within her, because a character that is gray also has humanity within her, or within them. Therefore, Melisandre still is compassionate to those who are compassionate towards her.
Melisandre stood at the door, in her red silks and shimmering satins, holding a covered silver dish in her hands. These little wars are no more than the scuffle of children before what is to come. The one whose name may not be spoken is marshalling his power, Davos Seaworth, a power fell and evil, and strong beyond measure. Soon comes the cold, and the night that never ends.
We see this within the show. She is compassionate to Shireen, even though she does later murder her within the show. She does show her some compassion. And later, when they do burn Shireen at the stake, Melisandre is distraught and unable to grapple with the realization that she was led astray. Because of this, the external conflict that she is facing inside leads her to do drastic measures, and she is grieving for the loss of all she had led astray. Melisandre, Martin has crafted a character who dives in the simplistic and noble means. She is neither a villain or a hero, but rather an embodiment of someone who believes she is doing the great or good, a morality that has been altered to its grayness that is often the reflected of human intention. So often in our daily lives, we we are conflicted with the moral ambiguity of one choice we make is wrong because it contradicts our own belief systems. And the cost of this price is our higher purpose, our humanity. Whether viewers believe Melisandre to be a noble figure or tragic character, the fact of the matter is Melisandre's journey is profoundly explored in the journey of devout religion, though these belief systems have consequences to the world around her. The Zeal of Righteousness. At the core, Melisandre's character is an unspeakable belief system with her god and the prophecy of Azor Ahai and the rebirth of a savior destined to lead humanity against the coming darkness of the long night. This conviction drives her in every aspect and action, from the council to Stannis Baratheon to her extreme measures, such as burning innocent people to feel her magic. For Melisandre, these sacrifices are not acts of cruelty, but necessary to save them from the external struggle between light and darkness often arises, and these sacrifices are for the greater good. She genuinely believes that her actions, whether morally ambiguous, are justified by a higher purpose.
Lord of Light, we offer you these false gods, these seven who are one, and him the enemy. Take them and cast your light upon us, for the night is dark and full of terrors.
Whether Melisandre's faith is not without its flaws, her interpretation of these visions in the flames often subjugate their profound horrors, as seen within the beliefs of Stannis Baratheon and his prophetic vision of being the hero. This is a grievous misstep and often arises in dangerous situations, as she led thousands of individuals in the wrong way. While Melisandre's faith can inspire hope and strength in others, it also blinds her to a narrative pressing her own belief systems onto her vision, which can cause harm. This duality makes her both a savior and a harbinger of destruction, depending all in one perspective and viewpoint. The cost of power. Melisandre's use of magic further underscores her morality. She weaponizes shadow bending, glamoring, and other innate abilities to achieve her own goal, often at a higher cost. The shadow assassin she creates to kill Renly of one that is a grievous war crime known as kinslaying. She had Stannis help her conjure this creature up, making him directly connected to this shadow deity. So single-handedly, she allowed Stannis Baratheon to kill his own brother, making him a kinslayer.
The Iron Throne is mine by rights, but how am I to take it? There are 4 kings in the realm, and 3 of them have more men and more gold than I do. I have ships, and I have her, the Red Woman. Half my knights are afraid even to say her name. Did you know? If she can do nothing else, a sorceress who can inspire such dread in grown men is not to be despised.
This also directly underscores her morally ambiguous character. While this action serves Stannis' position in the War of the Five Kings, it also raises ethical questions about the price of victory and the sanctity of life. Despite the noble means of which they are coming from, Melisandre is an individual with faults and downfalls and moments of vulnerability, such as when she asserts her fear and doubt in a Dance of Dragon, revealing more of a human side of her character arc and her compassion and charismatic. The moment where she questions her principles and shows that she does have a heart. Her actions stemming from the fear and justification of her faith leads us to struggle with Melisandre's capability and leads us to believe that she does have compassion in a heart so turned to stone. Now we have to remember that Melisandre has been around for at least 400 years. That means she's been waiting for the prince that is promised, Azor Ahai, for numerous years. Now I have to fact check my 400 years because as I'm thinking about it, I think I'm way off. But she has lived for an extremely long period of time. Therefore, she's not only been waiting for death, but also been waiting waiting for Azor Ahai to come again. That means her lord, what she believes, her lord, the Lord of Light, has kept her around this long because she has a greater purpose to fill out. In conclusion, Melisandre of Ashai is one of the most ambiguous characters and as extremely complex when we dive into all of the characters that we see in today's video. Her ability to inspire those with her faith is not only inspiring but also terrifying, as she could lead them astray or lead them to salvation.
She had no time for sleep, with the weight of the world upon her shoulders, and she feared to dream. Sleep is a little death, dreams the whisperings of the other, who would drag us all into his eternal night.
It is undercurrent within her own political maneuvers. She truly believes that Stannis Baratheon is Azor Ahai come again, but she has isolated her viewpoint and narrowed her own self-assertion, so therefore she only sees one opportunity, one perspective. Daenerys Targaryen is halfway across the world. Although she has achieved every single one of the prophecies, when she looks into her flames, Melisandre does not see her. Therefore, it leads her to believe that Stannis Baratheon has to be the chosen one. But one of the prophecies is to hatch stone eggs, and Daenerys Targaryen has did just that. That alone should sway Melisandre, but she has not heard any rumblings from the east. Therefore, she believes Stannis Baratheon, with all of her heart and conviction, is Azor Ahai. I believe in the future books, her character arc will shift and turn, especially when she does find out that Daenerys exists and she has fulfilled most of the prophecy.
In Daenerys Targaryen, the world hadn't seen a dragon in centuries until my children were born. The Dothraki hadn't crossed the sea, any sea. They did for me. I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms, and I will.
I hope that Melisandre gets more life into her character as we eventually understand her humanity more than just her righteous belief system. In the show, they truly do express this in more of a profound way after she does kill Shireen. The Lord of Light Temple in Volantis often sacrifices young children, so she is accustomed to it, although she does grieve for the loss and the ultimate downfall of Stannis Baratheon. So I hope we do see her struggle with this conflict internally. It is extremely uncomfortable when we are faced with the truth that our actions can be diminished by the morality in Westeros. Much in our world, it is rare to see a clear-cut answer. Black and white hardly exist in the end. Now, I did have one more character I was going to talk about, Tyrion Lannister, but this video is already getting pretty long, so I may do a part 2 if this video does well. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to do a part 2 of Grey characters. In the end, morality is defined by the individual perspective, although George R. R. Martin has shaped these characters specifically to have a nuanced perspective and not be too much of a genuine savior and a genuine villain. We also have to use our own reasoning and self-perception to see if they truly are a Grey character. For Daemon Targaryen, Stannis Baratheon, Melisandre, and Sansa Stark, they truly do push the boundaries of what is good and evil. Although Sansa Stark is truly just barely coming into this self-identification, I wanted to put her in here because I believe in the next couple books, A Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring, she will have more of a political role. At least I'm hoping so. This inherently invites audiences to question the true nature of morality. Each character is a reflection of continuity, exploring the human psyche and human experiences, the struggle between self-reflection and self-sacrifice, loyalty, betrayal, justice, and vengeance. These actions and motivations are key to survival in the world of Westeros. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Watchers beyond the wall, I am out.